When the Spirit of God manifests himself upon his people, it's because he has assigned us into a situation where an impossibility must bow. I want to stir up, provoke, cultivate appetite for that today. I believe that you and I are going to see things in the days directly ahead that we've only dreamed of, and perhaps some things we've never even dreamed of. Things where we see the Lord use us. I don't know, I grew up at a time when I thought it was just, the significant, the big name people that God would use, and I just didn't qualify. I remember reading about all these heroes of the faith, and I didn't have any of their encounters, any of their experiences. And I always thought it was just for the specialist. And the Lord has made it very clear that the specialist equips the rest of us so that, as John Wimber would say, everybody gets to play. Everybody gets to be involved. So this that I want to talk to you about today is this presence of the Lord that is in every person and why he's there. He's there to comfort and encourage, but he's also there for the invasion into the impossible. Why? Because the kingdoms of this world are becoming the kingdom of our God. He gave us a mission, and I hope that you see this clearly, where the backbone of why we are left on planet Earth is found in what is referred to as the Lord's Prayer. It's not really the Lord's Prayer because in it is the confession of sin, and he didn't have any sin. But in that prayer is, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He didn't give us that assignment to keep us busy. He wasn't trying to think of some nice Christian activities to keep us occupied so that we'd just stay busy and not be tempted, not fall into sin. He gave us a military assignment because of his intention to demonstrate his goodness, his presence, his glory, his purposes into the earth so that all could taste and see that the Lord is good. Taste and see. Taste. What you'll experience, you'll perceive. You'll taste, and then you'll see. The goodness of God is beyond anything we could possibly imagine. I don't think it's possible to exaggerate his goodness. It's beyond anything we can wrap our head around, but it's not bigger than what we can experience. So I see Jesus as the woman touches his garment. I see Paul as in Acts 19, where they would take pieces of cloth from his body and they would send it to a sick person, a diseased person. That person would be healed or delivered. I see Peter's shadow. They would line people up who were diseased in the streets as he would walk by and they would be healed. I hope you ache for that. I hope you hunger for that. I hope that the cry of your heart, like mine, would be that God would do something so significant that as he rests upon you, everybody around you is impacted by that presence. How is it a shadow can heal anyone? There's no substance to a shadow. Your shadow will always release whatever overshadows you. Whatever you give place to. Think about this. This world is filled with a lot of good things, but a lot of crazy stuff too. This world is filled with so much unbelief and so much chaos and so much animosity, towards the things of God. This world is filled with a lot of fear, a lot of tension, a lot of strife. Heaven is filled with absolute, perfect confidence in God. There's not even shadows there. Light is shining everywhere at once. So heaven is filled with this absolute delight and confidence in God. And you and I will always, in our countenance, reflect the nature of the world we are most aware of. If we live overwhelmed by the difficulties of this world, we will project that. If we live with our souls anchored in the reality of God's presence, in the reality of his promises, you and I will always release that into the world around us. Your shadow will always release whatever overshadows you. I look at these stories and it just makes me hungry that God would do something significant in that way in my life. And I pray that today for each one of us.